The PowerGraphs activity, you're going to want to be signed in on Google Drive, and you're going to need to access your Canvas course. So from home, I can go to the modules, and we're going to head down to the Unit 6 module. And we're going to go ahead and open ICE 6.8A1. This is the PowerGraphs activity for the Friday class. You can see from the directions, they've changed. I've updated them. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to open the PowerGraphs link. It's going to ask you to make a copy. And having created it, you guys know the drill. You're going to want to add your name and your number. You can get rid of the doc stuff. And you're going to want to share it. So I'm going to go to Advanced, and I'm going to set it so anyone with the link can view. Now this document is exactly what we're going to do the work in. So we're doing something called PowerGraphs, and it's about the structure of the argument. And the structure is the same structure you're going to be using in your next paper. So we're going to start out, we're going to build an argument. You can use any topic for this particular activity that you want to. I went with Ben and Jerry's. And what you're going to do is hit return a couple times. You have the model in front of you, and you're going to write down a claim. So you can agree, you can disagree, you can write about how I have the best sisters in the world. It can go anywhere. It could be, there are 3 amazing foods that are my favorites. There are, sushi is the best thing in the world. Greek food is a bad thing to eat before going to class. There's a lot of things you can do. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to type in your claim right there on your line. Now mine is already the Ben and Jerry's one. Yours should be different. And you've completed level 1. You developed a claim. Then we're going to go to level 2. Now notice that there are 3 points made. This is a laundry list thesis. And I have numbers in it so that my reader knows this is what my structure is for my thesis. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy my argument down. So go ahead and copy your argument down. And come up with at least 3 points that support it. Now these colors are going to become important later. You can use the same colors I did, or you can use different colors, or you can type right over it. So I want to keep track of my colors. Now once you've written yours in, you can delete mine. So that lets me pick my own colors. And I just want to be able to keep track of what my colors are. So I'm just going to highlight them and make it simple. I'm going to do the pink. I think I'm going to stick with the pink, the yellow, and the green just because it's easy. And it matches what's already there. So I have my 3 points. Notice that each point is separated with a comma and that my conjunction goes before my last point. Now the next stage is to turn my points into an outline. So I'm going to hit return a few times. I'm going to copy my level 2. Lots of copy and pasting here. And I'm going to paste it into my level 3 so I know where I'm starting. Now I have my 3 points, so now I need to set myself up for my outline. Now I said Ben & Jerry's has the best ice cream. This is demonstrated through their inclusion. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about examples. I'm talking about reasons. So I'm going to talk about the first. I'm going to use ordinals. The second and the third. Now, the phrase the phrasing of it is going to set my reader up to know that I'm signaling them. Here is my milestone. Here is where my argument's going to move forward. So I can talk about my first reason or the first example. I'm going to shift it to example. And I'm just going to copy that down. The first example, the second example, the third example. And then I'm going to grab my point here. Now, first example is important issues, doesn't make a lot of sense. So I need to add a few words to make it more sense. Make more sense. So the first example is how Ben & Jerry's address important issues today. Then I'm going to grab my second one, fun ice cream flavors. Same kind of thing. The second example is their inclusion of fun ice cream flavors. Don't forget your periods at the end of your sentences. And my third example is, I've got the word inclusion. I probably am going to want to change that. So the example is their use of fun ice cream flavors. The third example is their inclusion of popular culture. In their ice cream names. So I'm adding a few words. But it's still the heart of these points that I named up here. So that becomes my outline. So having created my outline, I can now delete the model. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy it. So copy it. And I'm going to go down to level 4. Now level 4, I expanded my details. So this is going to be a little longer of an example. So looking at the model, it has that first sentence, that line I had, the first reason, the second reason, the third reason, or for my new one, the first example, the second example, the third example. You might have problems, you might have all kinds of different things. It's whatever you're using that you're going to signal your reader. And yes, you're going to use the same exact wording because it's designed to signal your reader. And then I'm going to start expanding on my points. So first example is how Ben & Jerry's address important issues today. Now you do not have to have sources. I'm just going to steal it up here because this would take too long for me to write. You do not have to have sources for this, but because I have to give you the ideal example, I have them in here. Come up with your second one. Now notice my second point is not one paragraph. So I said they have fun ice cream flavors. Whoops, I want to get rid of my highlighting there because that's not really part of it. My favorite 2 flavors. Are chocolate. Actually, right now it's not chocolate therapy. but I'll stick with it. Chocolate. Oh, and they're the name of the flavor, so I should have capitalized them. Okay, so I have two sentences. This is a paragraph. And then what I want to do is have a paragraph expanding on these 2 points. So my second example has 2 points inside of it. I want to cover it. I'm not going to use first or second because I don't want to confuse my reader with the numbering I'm already using. So I'm just going to start talking about it. So my first point that I'm making is I love chocolate therapy. I have no idea what is in it in chocolate therapy, but it tastes like pure chocolate. Chocolate therapy is a relatively new flavor, having come out in the last few years, and it's currently my favorite flavor. Then I'm going to take my second one about fish food. And you're going to do the same thing with yours, where you're going to go in and you're going to expand on your points. Each point can have multiple paragraphs as long as you have that signal sentence letting the reader know what's coming. And then I'm going to go ahead and expand on my third reason. Now you aren't going to copy and paste for you, you're going to write your own. And this should be part of that same paragraph. And then once you've come up with your own, you're going to delete the original and leave yours to replace it. Then you'll copy it, and we're going to hop down to level 5, which is the last level you're going to do. Level 5 is the easiest one. You're just going to write your conclusion. So for my conclusion, I said Ben & Jerry's ice cream offers both interesting ingredients and tasty flavors and fun themes for their ice cream. So you see how I'm restating things from my thesis, but I'm not using the exact same words. Here's where I'm using fresh new language. While my favorite flavors shift from year to year as new flavors come out and older flavors are retired, during hot weather, I'm more likely to reach for Ben & Jerry's ice cream than any other brand. So this gives me kind of a nice conclusion. So go ahead and write your conclusion. Add it on to the bottom of yours. And when you're done with yours, you can go back and delete the model so that all that's left is yours. Now you're done with your portion of writing, but what I want to point out to you is this structure. This structure is designed to show you how the 5-paragraph model was originally designed to expand. It's like an accordion. It can keep growing. So this is an example of how I could expand on my original idea. So if my essay is too short, I can add more details. So here I have my introduction and my thesis sentence. Now it's not a very good introduction. I should have some sort of a hook to it, but this is a very basic paragraph. But I need some length, so I might add maybe some historical background after my introduction. Maybe talking about 2 favorite ice cream flavors isn't enough, so maybe I'll talk about 3 instead. And if I add a third one to continue my structure, I'm going to add a third paragraph about my Chunky Monkey ice cream. I can also go back into my details, for example, a popular culture. I can go back and expand on more information. And then I did this by going back to my source and finding out what happened. There's my works cited. Now remember, for this assignment, you do not have to have references or sources or citations. And obviously we're not doing it in MLA. The point is, can you do the structure, and do you understand how this structure can expand? The next thing you're going to do is copy your URL, and you're going to come back into Canvas, and you're going to go ahead and submit the URL to this class. And that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me a text, and I'll wish you best of luck with this assignment. Remember when we saw the drafts for the next paper, a lot of them had this laundry list structure and they used these ordinals, and I said it was required for this paper. So this is your chance to explore it freely. This assignment is based on a do or do not. So do it, turn it in, and I'll see you next time we're in class.